In 2000, the former U.S. President Bill Clinton announced the completion of the first survey of the entire human genome. The world gave it uninterrupted attention. Not surprisingly, China, with a few other fast-developing countries, like India and Brazil, joined a flood of development countries in this rush, enlisting biotechnology in their national high-tech development programs to promote the growth of domestic biochemical industry. However, figures from National Development and Reform Commission, the Ministry of Technology and Statistics Bureau show that only less than 5% of the biomedical projects in China were industrialized. That fewer than 5,000 of the biotech startups lasted longer than 10 years. Hybribio, however, has remained competitive over 10 years. Hybribio successfully positioned itself on the vantage point of technology and research. Shortly after its founding in 2000, Hybribio focused on production and marketing of HPV genome-array diagnostic technology, emphasizing on strategic importance in industrialization and commercialization.
根据我多年从事科研的经验来看，生物科技必须聚焦在人类健康的福祉上，结合国内外的资料和现状。我认为开普产业法律聚焦在各种疾病的预防和检测上，特别是在妇女宫颈癌的早期防治方面，这将给妇女健康、家庭幸福和社会合作做出极大的贡献。
Following the advice of Professor Khan, a member of Chinese Academy of Science, Hybribio joined together its intellectual and material resources to give HPV gene array a competitive edge, which helped it overcome technological, marketing and industrialization risk. 10 years of technological development and cultivation has brought substantial achievements, aligning science with industrial and social needs, and matching economic growth and short-term benefit with long-term benefits. Hybribio expanded, becoming a pioneer in the molecular diagnosis sector in China. The success of Hybribio proves that independent development and innovation is the core in biotech industry. In the first China Hybribio HPV conference, Hybribio CEO Guanchao Zhong made a keynote speech, Implication of Hybribio HPV Genome-Array Diagnostic Kit in the Chinese biochemical industry, in which he remarked that Hybribio HPV Genome-Array Diagnostic Kit represents the frontier of the development in the similar products. Hybribio is the pride of China's biochemical industry and an excellent example of industrialization of biotechnology in China. With the goal of caring for women and betterment of health care, Hybribio commits itself to the industrial development and application of HPV testing technology. In retrospect, the year 2003 marked a milestone in the history of Hybribio, when the University of Hong Kong introduced flow-through hybridization, a technology with 2 U.S. patents, into Hybribio Hong Kong GN Company. At the earliest time possible, flow-through hybridization enabled Hybribio to make the first detection of SARS virus sample, drawing attention from both the media and the medical community. Zheng Yaozong, former president of the University of Hong Kong and CAS academician, says,
医学方法对于生物学和医学的研究具有很大的促进作用，比如建立在导流家教原理基础上的快速家教仪，给临床分子生物学诊断带来很大的方便。我同意胡院士的意见，开普可以以导流家教技术作为技术平台，发展低密度基因检测产品。
By adopting flow-through hybridization and the world advanced real-time PCR technology, Hybribio brings to the market the HPV diagnostic product series targeting the causative agent of cervical cancer, as well as developing detection kit for other tumors and genetic diseases. Hybribio HPV GenoArray Test Kit allows detection of 21 genotypes of HPV virus in one single reaction. Currently, Hybribio products are in use of over 1,000 large and medium-scale hospitals. Up to 2012, over 5 million people have been tested with Hybribio products. In other parts of the globe, Hybribio products are marketed to 28 countries and areas. Hybribio 13 High-Risk HPV Real-Time PCR Kits features capacity for testing on small viral load samples and high automation processing, popularizing its wide use in large-scale screening. Hybribio 14 High-Risk HPV Real-Time PCR Kits with HPV 16 and HPV 18 genotyping can be facilitated on most mainstream real-time PCR platform, exerting great clinical significance in disease monitoring. Thalassemia Gene Diagnostic Kit allows detection of 3 deletion, 3 mutation and 16 mutation types of thalassemia in one single reaction, offering the most efficient testing method in the clinical diagnosis of thalassemia. STD3 Diagnostic Kit makes use of PCR amplification in combination with membranes hybridization, exhibiting the capacity to detect Neisseria gonorrhea, Chlamydia trachomatis, and Ureaplasma areolaticum in one single reaction. It offers high specificity and sensitivity, a great guide for the clinical treatment. On the ground of detecting 21 HPV genotyping, Hybribio 37 GenoArray Kits adds 16 additional rare subtypes of HPV infection. It is applied to the early diagnosis of clinical cervical cancer, skin cancer, esophageal cancer, and nasopharyngeal diseases. To target high-grade cytology in cancer samples, Hybribio has accomplished 14 high-risk HPV, E6, E7 mRNA GenoArray kits to detect E6, E7 mRNA from 14 high-risk HPV genotypes. Tom Brugger, former president of the International HPV Society, commented that Hybribio HPV Conference is a watershed event in the prevention of cervical cancer. Hybribio is determined to devote fully to the prevention of cervical cancer in China and let China become a global example to the screening of HPV. Hybribio puts assured quality and sound governance at the very core of its corporate values. Manufacturing is in strict accordance with SFDA specifications. As a result of its conformity with high-quality standards, it has been awarded GMP certificate together with ISO 13485 and ISO 9001. Quality Management System Certificate. Additionally, Quality Control Management System has established throughout all the process from R&D, manufacturing, to after-sales service. In the 2011 WHO HPV LabNet has developed an international proficiency panel for HPV DNA detection, and Taiping Hybribio participated in 4 different sites: Guangdong, Shanghai, Iran, and Malaysia. Hybribio products passed all the inspections for 21 GenoArray kits, 13 high-risk GenoArray kits, and 14 high-risk kits. In particular, results in Guangdong and Shanghai demonstrated 100% proficiency. Hybribio's recognition by the administrative body is demonstrated through its participation in the formulation of HPV detection standard for the diagnostic industry in China. In 2012, National Center for Clinical Laboratories appointed Hybribio's 21 HPV GenoArray detection kit as the standard for HPV diagnosis in hospitals. Hybribio is working to make its products the External Quality Assessment (EQA) standard by the Ministry of Health starting from 2014. Every year, hybribio invested substantial resources in R&D for the sustainable development and to maintain its competitive edge. Yan Fuzhou, Honorary President of Hybribio Group, CAS member, and Pro-Vice Chancellor of the University of Nottingham, gives credit for hybribio's momentum, saying it is keeping abreast with the latest technology in the 21st century. Hybribio engaged in partnership with a number of prestigious universities and research institutions, as well as participating in National 863 Research Project, National 973 Project, and over 20 municipal government projects. In 2011, hybribio collaborated with Medical Technology Research Center under the Ministry of Health for the establishment of China HPV database, which is committed to the supervision of HPV-trained and evolution of cervical cancer with the help of information technology. It serves as an open platform for HPV genotype infection surveillance and HPV genetic research data to improve the study of HPV virus amongst the Chinese population. Over the past years, over 160 papers on HPV clinical study and research have been published in scientific and medical journals, among which 15 papers have been collected by SCI as authoritative publications. In 2009, China government included the screening of breast cancer and cervical cancer for women in rural areas as a major public health service programs. Without hesitation, hybribio responded by offering the best products and service for the cancer screening in rural areas. Hybribio is responsible for large-scale screening in Guangdong, Tibet, Xiamen, Beijing, and Weihai, and statistical analysis for the distribution of HPV genotypes in China to provide HPV infection data for medical specialists and scientists. The study is highly regarded in filling up the blank spots in empiric research and setting solid groundwork for the vaccine development. Hybribio has also participated in over 600 training sessions for basic-level clinicians in association with the Ministry of Health and Chinese Medicine Association. The training programs have helped educating the professionals and enrich the skills of these clinicians in the treatment of reproductive tract infections. With the contributions to the community, hybribio has won social recognition as a reputable enterprise. The company received a Social Responsibility Award, Charity Model Award, and Chinese Women's Charity Award over the years. Aristotle once said, "The whole is greater than the sum of its part." Hybribio embedded this methodology in educating and developing its employees in different areas, including technical skills, building under the management model of 1 + 1 is greater than 2. Under the guidance from a team of most understanding scientists, including CAS members Yan Fuzhou, Zhen Yaozhong, Kong Shanfu, Zhen Yi, Professor Lin Haifan, and Professor Li Xiaochuan, and operating with energized and young scientists and managers. Hybribio understands the importance of human capital, stressing talents over other qualifications. Hybribio has gradually installed systematic management, network management, and horizontal organizations models with its own unique features. In retrospect, 10 years of technological development and cultivation has made substantial achievements. Looking ahead, a longer road is taking us to the prestige of $1 billion medical business. Hybribio's compounded projects of gynecological disease and tumor treatment products is included as a key project for the development of biomedical industry in Guangdong. The company is constructing a 50,000 square meter HQ, research and production facilities in Sino-Singapore, Guangzhou Knowledge City to further improve the research and manufacturing process, including HPV treatment, genetic disease treatment, prenatal and postnatal diagnosis, other nucleic acid-based diagnosis, and automatic high-throughput diagnostic devices. always staying market-oriented. Hybribio sets the integration of production, education, and research in a strategic core for the next 10 years ahead. Step by step, hybribio is moving steadily towards the goal of turning itself to a billion-dollar market leader in China, the leader of China biotech industry with new technology. Education and management will stand tall in China. Hybribio's new glory await.